A very good afternoon, friends. Welcome to today's class on retail advertising. So yesterday we are discussing the unit retail pricing and promotion. So yesterday we discussed retail promotion strategies, and we also discussed regarding the elements of retailing. So in general, also we have something called as promotional mix elements, isn't it? So the what is the promotion mix consists of? Promotion mix elements consist of advertising, sales promotion, okay, personal selling, direct marketing, public relations. Okay. Now the same we happen to see in yesterday's class, isn't it? See, the promotional elements include advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, direct marketing, public relations. Public relation, publicity are in fact one and the same. So now as we move to retail advertising, right now, how do you define the word called advertising? Now, advertising can be defined as any paid form of non-personal presentation of ideas, goods, services by an identified sponsor. So what is it? It is any paid form of non-personal presentation, because you are addressing to a huge gathering. You're not addressing it a single individual. You're not addressing to your target audience. You're addressing it to everyone. Since you're addressing it to everyone, it's a non-personal presentation of ideas, goods, services by an identified sponsor. Now, based on this conceptualization, we can understand advertising as it can be understood as a paid form of communication, right? Second thing, it's a non-personal presentation of message because there's no face-to-face contact with the customer. And the third thing, it is identified by a sponsor, right? It's a paid form of communication, and it's a non-personal presentation of a message, and it is issued by an identified sponsor. That the identified sponsor is nothing but the manufacturing company, the company which is manufacturing that good, that product. Now it is that particular company is called as an identified sponsor. Now let us look at the objectives of advertising. So when we look at the objectives of advertising, one of the first objective is to promote new product, to support personal selling programs, right? So to promote new product, so whenever an organization is launching a new product, now they happen to advertise it so that all the target customers and the even though if they are not target customers, the other people will at least have an awareness. They'll have a knowledge that so and so market, that so and so product is available in the market. Today the customer may not buy, but tomorrow when he wants to buy that particular product, now it should be in his top of mind recall. For that particular reason, we promote it rigorously. And the next objective of advertising is to reach out to people not accessible to salesperson. So who are all those particular people who are left out in personal selling, right? So in order to reach them, advertising is a smooth vehicle. Next is to enter into new market. To overcome competition and to enter in new market, advertising is used as a tool. Now, similarly, advertising also enhances the goodwill of the retail firm, right? So based on advertising, the goodwill is also enhanced. And finally, it warns the public against imitation of the retailer product. So these are the objectives of advertising. In a nutshell, okay, in a nutshell, we can say that advertising is used for promoting a manufacturer's product. Okay, it is used for promoting a manufacturer's product. So manufacturer, after having manufactured product, when he want to tell his target customers and when he want to tell the public in general that so and so product is available in the market, they go for advertising, right? Similarly, when the product prices are, I mean, when the product has reached the across the growth stage, enter into saturation stage, now to regenerate sales, now they come out with certain sales promotion, right? But customers should know, right, that sales promotion is available. Customers should know that the manufacturer is giving a discount, or that manufacturer is giving so and so sales promotion. So to inform customer, right, to create awareness among the public, we need advertising. So that's the primary objective of our advertising. Okay, now let us look at the Significance of advertising. Right, advertising has got a lot of significance, especially in the era of globalization and liberalization, with so much changing around us in the world. For a very long time, retailers were dependent on print media. Right, for advertising, retailers were dependent on print media, and then from print media, slowly they started moving towards electronic media. Right, let us look, see, till 1990, we did not have organized retail in India. Organized retail sector is not available. We only had traditional retail sector. So as long as it was the traditional retail sector, now advertising was confined basically to newspapers, and for certain brands, individual brands, they used to go for electronic media. That is, they used to advertise in this television. And after 1991, when organized retailing started in, we slowly started moving from print media ads to TVs, television commercials. Then by the time we entered into the 21st century, everything has changed. Now a new media has come, a new platform has come. Now television commercials are no longer making an impact to the customer. Right. So there are many things. Point of sales, we have got these electronic vendors where the ads are being displayed. Right, when you go to bank and all, you see this kiosk machines used for advertising the products. Right, now similarly, we started moving towards websites, and now today advertising is primarily done in the social media. When you open Facebook, you come across certain ads. When you open this particular Instagram, you come across certain ads. When you open Google, you come across certain ads. Right. So if you take, especially among the urban population and among the educated population, even the rural part of India, among the literate population, if we have, say, suppose if we conduct a survey among 100 people regarding the promotion of the product, now maybe around 30% of the people say that they have come across this particular promotion across, television commercials or like that. Right, television commercials and newspapers. Now 70% of the population will definitely say, and especially among the age group between 15 to 20 years till for 50 years, this particular age group, this 40 years, from 20 to 15, in this particular age group, people will definitely say they have come across this particular ad through social media. It might be on a Google platform, and it might be on YouTube, it might be on Facebook or Instagram. Now, so much has changed. So now advertising has gone away, right? So gone are those days where we used to have television commercials for 1 minute, right? Television commercials later came down to 45-second commercials. Right, now previously we used to have 90-second commercials. Now sometimes some commercials are 180 seconds. Those days are gone. Now customers do not have the patience of viewing a commercial for no less than 15 to 20 seconds. So today commercials are for 10 seconds. So when you open your Facebook, now look at the time of the commercial, 5 seconds. Yeah. Zomato for 5 seconds, and might be at the maximum for 10 seconds, not beyond 10 seconds. So in that particular 10 seconds, they'll have to convey the message. Now that's the significance here. Previously, in order to convince the customer, in order to convey the message to the customer, television commercials were using an airtime of 45 seconds, minimum of 45 seconds to 150 seconds. Now, this particular time from 45 seconds to 150 seconds has drastically been reduced to 10 seconds. In 10 seconds, you'll have to tell what you want to tell to the customer. In that particular 10 seconds, you'll have to catch the appeal of the customer, and customer should relate to you in that particular 10 seconds. Very, very tough task, complex task, challenging. In fact, it's challenging. Unless and otherwise, the advertisers are truly blessed with a creative mind, now meeting this challenge is no joke. Right? No, that's the significance of advertising today in the retail sector. Right? And most of this particular advertising is again done when you visit the store. There again, they do a lot of advertising there. Now let us look at some of the traditional ads, right? Types of advertising. Let us look at them. Now, consumer-oriented or persuasive advertising. Now, the major objective of consumer-oriented advertising is to inform consumers about the new products, holding consumer patronage against intensified campaigns by rivals, promoting a contest or a premium. So that has got multiple objectives. Now, one particular objective is to inform, create awareness. Second objective is to retain your existing customers. Your existing customers should not be taken away by your competitors. You have to retain customer retention, right? And the third objective is to promote a context. So how do you retain when you say so promotional campaign is being given, so and so premium offer is given by retail outlet by retailer, that's when customer will again come back. No, there. Okay, so it helps in maintaining a regular demand and attracts a lot of attention and preferences to the customer. Now, some of the examples can be Will's Lifestyle, an ITC-owned apparel retail chain. All right, so that's consumer-oriented or persuasive advertising. Next is informative advertising. Right, so in informative advertising, now purchase of durable products is often too expensive to buy. Okay, so if you want to buy a durable product, sometimes it's too expensive. So the buyer requires elaborate information on the product. There, the retailer and the manufacturer have to spend huge amount on informative advertising, how you are going to use the product and how this particular product is useful for you, the multitasking nature of the product. The information, giving the information to the customer. Next is institutional or corporate advertising. Now, here the main motive of this advertising is to build corporate image, right? Is to build the corporate image. And an attempt is made to highlight the achievements and objectives of the retail organization. For example, if you take HDFC Bank has tied up with Business Today, the leading business magazine, to sponsor 10,000 copies of the magazine in each metro. The cover of the sponsored copies of December 2003 rated HDFC Bank as the best bank in India. No, sometimes, but even though, I mean, sometimes these particular cases, they also come under UTP and RTP. Right, UTP is unfair trade practices, RTP is restrictive trade practices. Now, this thing, if it goes to court, right now, if there is no solid evidence to prove that HDFC Bank is a leading bank, just because they have got a tie-up, they cannot be promoting like that. So that can come under unfair trade practice. Next, financial advertising. Now, advertisement by various financial institutions like Standard Chartered Bank, ICICI, etc., are used. No, even the financial organizations in the, especially in the financial services category. So those organizations in the financial services category, now that advertising also comes under financial advertising. These days, now especially the banks and insurance companies and even the stock brokerage companies, right? Edelweiss, okay, and then we have got Angel Broking, okay, IDFC First Bank. So we have got number of these particular organizations in financial services which invest a lot of money on advertising, right? And then we have got classified ads, which are specified under specific headings and columns in various magazines. Now let's move on to sales promotion. So basically, advertising is of two types: print media and electronic media. Print media, newspapers, magazines, journals; electronic media, television commercials and social media. And even outdoor advertising also comes under electronic only. Next is sales promotion. Now, what is a sales promotion? It is a communication strategy which acts as a direct inducement or a added value or an incentive for the product to customers. So if you are going to buy that particular product, this is the extra benefit, right? Now the extra benefit might be the price of the product is 40 rupees, but now you are getting it at 30 rupees. So the 10 rupees is the extra benefit that is given to you. Now this particular 10 rupees will act as an inducement, right? In a way, right, in order to catch fish, traditionally in the rural parts of India, in order to catch fish, what do? We search for a bait. right? And what is generally the bait? Earthworm. So we hook up the earthworm and then we push our fishing thing, right? So when the fish comes in search of the earthworm, and then when it bites the earthworm, it gets hooked to the hook. And then you pull out the fish and take it. So what are you doing? It's a you're using a bait to catch fish. Now, similarly, in the sales promotion also, it is a sort of a bait to catch customers, especially in high price sensitive markets like our country. Right. So when we look at the objectives of sales promotions, it is to assist other communication activities undertaken by the store. It also encourages new tires by offering free trials. Some product categories to give a free trial, and to encourage repeat purchases. All right. To encourage repeat purchases, again, we use this particular sales promotion. So especially when we look at our retailing, right? When we see sales promotion through the prism of retail, now there are we can divide the sales promotion into in-store activities and out-store activities. When we look at the in-store activities, right, it's like price of pack. The product is sold at a reduced price from its normal selling price. Now this is called as a price of pack, or it is also called as a discount. Next is the premium. There are in the form of small gifts that customer gets on purchasing a product. It's attached to the pack or inside. Sometimes the premiums are, say if you're buying some rice bag, you'll get a ball, right? That's a premium, right? You buy something, they're going to give you something free for that. That's the premium there. Next is self-liquidating premiums. Customer has to write to the supplier for the gift, enclosing empty pack, bottle crowns, etc. Now, at one point of time, this was huge success. Now, self-liquidating premium. Now, slowly and slowly they have come down. All right. So here the customer has to provide a proof of the purchase. Now, it can be a ring gift hunt, or it can be educational gift to children. So what you'll have to do, you'll have to fill the form and submit to the nearest center. Sometimes they'll be asking for your bill. So you show your bill, you put your invoice number, bill number, and then you send it to the retailer. They'll send you the kit. Right. Big Fun, at one point of time, Big Fun is a very, very popular, I mean, bubblegum, chewing gum, a very popular chewing gum. Right. For the 80s and 90s kids will know about Big Fun. So we'll have to collect the wrappers of two teams, their runs, their wickets. Right. You collect the batsman runs and wickets, then you go and give it to the retailer. Then they'll be giving you a cricket ball or a cricket bat. And for some other events, they'll give you a cricket kit also. So there are a number of sales promotions that are being done. Next is the personality promotions. Many companies use show business personalities to endorse their products. The suppliers tend to associate the charisma associated with these personalities. For example, TN Session, the former election commissioner, was used by Safal Vegetables. Right now, TN Session is known to be very honest and upright image. Now he was not just a revolutionary, but he was a reformer of the electoral process in India. Right. Although some of this electoral process, some of the reforms that he has brought in have been trampled by the current ruling. But then those days he was a reformer, and he has brought sweeping reforms in the electoral system. Right. He was the one who has introduced phase-wise elections. You can't have elections at a time, at a day across the country, phase-wise elections. Right, like that. Okay. So he has brought in some sweeping reforms in the electoral process in India. So since he has got a since in the public memory, TN Session, the name TN Session evokes a personality like a very strong, honest person and upright image. Now this Safal Vegetables want to encash on that. Right. This we also call as brand ambassador. So today, film stars, cricketers, celebrities are being roped in as brand ambassadors, and a number of consumer brands today are endorsed by the celebrities. Next is the cooperative promotion, where two or more products share and fund in joint store promotion. like shaving foam and shaving lotion together. No, you promote them, not individually. The other one is sampling. Free samples are given and then your feedback is being taken. All right. Now, free sampling is done when you launch a product for the first time. So in order to make customers buy your product, initially you distribute the free samples. Now, say if they are hooked to the taste, flavor, or something, they come back and then from there on, the real sale takes place. Next is the multi-pack, where two or more packs are attached and sold for a better or attractive price. Generally, Maggie noodles, they come at this particular multi-pack. Even these days, biscuits also, Good Day biscuits, multi-pack biscuits, Sunfeast multi-pack biscuits. So individual thing, if you're buying, right, it's going to be like 10 rupees. Now together, when you buy, the 10 packets come at 80 rupees. You're saving 20 rupees. Now above that, the recent offers like you buy one packet, you get the other packet for free. Right. So for 80 rupees, you are getting 20 packets, which means to say you're saving 120 rupees. You know how effective is that? Multi-packing. Next, buy one, get one. No, as I told you, you purchase one, you pay the price for one unit and you get the other one for free. Next is point of purchase display material like leaflets, special fittings. Now products are kept in a special rack rows or stands provided by the supplier. For example, racks provided by the toothbrush suppliers, Colgate toothbrush, separate rack designed by that particular person. Right? Special attraction, attract the customers. Similarly, glass cases for the watches like this. Right. Now, Revlon has got a special rack. Revlon has got a separate stand in Shopper Stop. All right. Now, that again comes under POP, point of purchase display material. Next is the demonstrators. Some demonstrators used in this context. For example, a child's product may use a person dressed as their logo. Now, a teddy bear. All right, demonstrators. We find them in retail outlets also. Now, next moving on to personal selling. Now, personal selling is a promotional method in which one party uses skills and techniques for building personal relationship with another party that results in both parties obtaining the value. So here we have got a buyer and got a seller, and the buyer is called as a salesperson. The seller is called as a salesperson. The buyer is called as a customer. So in all those particular instances where the salesperson directly goes to the customer's doorsteps and then interacts with him, explains him about the product. Now that's what we say as personal selling. Now the good thing about personal selling is there's a value transfer, whereas in case of advertising there is no value transfer. In case of advertising, you're only transferring the knowledge, creating awareness regarding that particular product and transferring the knowledge about that particular product. But that's not the case here with personal selling. In case of personal selling, what is happening? Since you're having face-to-face interaction, one-to-one interaction or face-to-face interaction, there's a value that is being transferred, right? You're trying to impress upon the customer. And in these days, many people take for granted advertising is pack of lies, right? What they say never happened. Because generally they say, now this particular vehicle is going to give you 107 kilometers per liter. Right now, 107 kilometers per liter, 107 kmpl comes in 72 font. Now, somewhere in 10 font, they say conditions apply. So when you look at that particular advertisement, that when you look at that particular poster or that particular TV scene, television, we look only at the 107. Because that is in big letters, font size of 72 or 86, but somewhere in 10 now, which is not visible. You'll have to go very, very closely, or you have to take a lens and then study that, which is not visible. It's like, you have this particular 107 kmpl like an elephant, and then you keep this particular conditions applied, disclaimer called conditions apply like an ant. Now, when ant and elephant walk together, whom are you going to notice, and who is visible, who is invisible? Obviously, elephant is visible, the ant is invisible. Now, same thing happens, with this particular thing. They say 100 kilometers, 7 kilometers, but it doesn't give. It gives only 80 or 90. And when you go ask them, the condition is that you should not use this particular clutch at all, which is not possible when you are riding. right? And you should not cross below above 40 kilometers. Sometimes that again is not right. And where we have bumpy roads, where we have huge traffic, the conditions never apply, and we'll never get that 107 kilometers per liter. It's a ploy. So customers know advertising is a ploy. Advertising is nothing but a bait. So those are gone, right? So even though does not mean that you can completely write off advertising, advertising still has got its own charm. It still has got its own potential and its own charm. But when we compare with the persons, and generally we what we seeing is believing. So when he himself comes and explains us, then the chance of believing him are more. Okay. It's because in most cases, the value for the salesperson is realized through the financial rewards of the sale, while the customer value is realized from the benefits obtained by consuming the product. However, getting a customer to purchase a product is not always the objective of personal selling. For instance, selling may be used for the purpose of simply delivering information because selling involves personal contact. This promotion method often occurs through face-to-face interaction or face-to-face meeting or telephone conversation, or sometimes through some new technologies that allow contact to take place over the internet using video conference or text message, right? In case of retail industry, personal selling is generally differently done here, right? We organize an event. Personal selling is more like an organizing an event. It's a different form of advertising. You choose one particular society where you have got 15 to 20 apartments, high-rise buildings, each apartment having 15 to 20 stories, right? So big apartments, so 15 to 20 stories and then 10 apartments. That's a huge population at one place. There you go for personal selling. All right, identify a place and then you go meet them, interact with them personally, right? So that's how. But in case of retailing, what we do is they do a sales promotion. They combine personal selling and sales promotion. They organize an event, invite everyone, and then they demonstrate to them, or they conduct in games. They conduct games for adults, separate games for adults, separate games for kids, and distribute the retailer products, right, as a gifts. And then that's how you bring them to your retail outlet. Next is our direct marketing, right? Generally, apart from the retail, we generally find the personal selling widely used in banking sector, insurance sector, and stock broking. Generally, it is widely used in financial services. Now, the next is direct marketing. Right. Now, direct marketing is a channel agnostic form of advertising, which allows businesses or non-profit organizations to communicate straight to the customer with advertising techniques that can include cell phone text messaging, email, interactive consumer websites, online display ads, database marketing, flyers, catalog distribution, promotional letters, target television commercials, response generating newspaper or magazine advertisements, and outdoor advertising, right? So all these things come under these days. What's happening is, especially telemarketing has become more of an irritation to the customer. Now customer don't even answer. So many a time what happens is, the moment they say we are calling from ICICI Bank credit card or SBI credit card, we are calling from HDFC Bank, you don't even listen what they wanted to say. You immediately press the red button. You immediately cut the call without even making their proposition, their business proposition. It has become a sort of an irritant. So it has lost charm, right? Telemarketing has lost its charm, right? But there are the other ways of direct marketing, right? One of the effective tools for direct marketing is the first one, right? SMS, short message. service, short message service or SMS is one of the widest. Say on your birthday, they happen to greet you. Okay, they happen to greet you, send you an SMS saying that since it's your birthday, we are going to give so and so offer. Now it is again backed by an email, right? Wishing you on birthday, giving you a promotional offer. Now these days, since most of us are using Android phones and we have got these apps and all, so early in the morning and when you wake up and look at the notification, you see State Bank of India, conveying birthday wishes to you. Say if you have got Bank of Baroda account, they are conveying birthday wishes. Okay, and other retailers conveying, Reliance conveying, Reliance Jio conveying your birthday wishes, right? Spencer's, they're conveying your birthday wishes. So all those particular retail points that you touch now, those people have happen to convey. So that's one way of making you feel special. And then they say, since it is your birthday, so today at Pantaloons, we are going to give you exclusively only for you, and only this offer is wide only for 2 days, today and tomorrow, 48 hours. So if you can take time and visit Pantaloons, we are going to give you 15% discount on your bill. Right? On the bill amount, we are going to give you 15% discount. An offer like that. Okay. So these sort of things, they pull the customer to the store. So direct marketing has got its reach. Direct marketing has got its influence and impact too. Right? So there are both there are pros as well as cons. Right? Telemarketing is more of a con. Remaining others are more of a pro. Now let's look at public relations and publicity. Now, public relations is the practice of managing the spread of information between individuals or an organization. Now, public relations may include an organization or an individual gaining exposure to their audience using topics of public interest and news items that do not require direct payment. Now, this public relations differentiates it from advertising as a form of marketing communications. Now, the aim of public relation is to inform the public, prospective customer, investor, partner, employee, and other stakeholders, and ultimately persuade them to maintain a certain view about the organization, right? To maintain a certain view about its leadership, to maintain a certain view of its products and of its political decisions. Now, public relation professionals typically work for PR and marketing firms, businesses and companies, government and public officials as PIOs, and non-governmental organizations and non-profit organizations. Right. So what do PR include? It includes an organization or individual gaining exposure to their audience using topics of public interest. That's PR. Next is publicity. Publicity entails any communication that fosters a favorable image for the retailer among its public. It can be personal or non-personal, it can be paid or non-paid, and it can be sponsor controlled or non-sponsor controlled. Publicity is a non-personal form of promotion where messages are transmitted through mass media. The time and space provided by the media is not paid for, and there is no identified commercial sponsor for publicity. Now let's look at the types of publicity. One is planned publicity. Here the retailer outlines its activities in advance. It strives to have media report on them and anticipates that certain events will result in media coverage. Community services like donations, social sales, introduction of new products or services of the activities which lead to media coverage. So planned publicity is you plan an activity, you plan an activity at retail outlet and ensure this event arouses interest among journalists, arouses interest among the media houses. So they send the journalists to cover this particular event. It can be print media, it can be electronic media also. Okay, that's planned publicity. Next is unexpected publicity. So in case of unexpected publicity, it takes place when the media reports on a firm without any advance notice about the media coverage. Right? TV and newspaper reporters may anonymously visit the store, rate their performance for their coverage. So they come as nobody They cover the retail outlet and then they give their opinion. Okay, that's unexpected. You don't invite them, they themselves come, they come independently, they do their work and go. All right, that's unexpected publicity. Next is complementary publicity. Now sometimes media reports about a firm in a complementary manner with regard to its excellence and of its retailing practices. All right, so that's this particular complementary publicity as a gratitude for the relation that an organization is maintaining with a particular media house, of them should have sponsored something. Now as a gratitude they do this particular complementary publicity. So that's about our promotional element mix. Okay, then we have got management and evaluation of relationships in retailing. So this particular part, management and evaluation of relationships in retailing, we shall see in the next class. So in today's class, we discussed regarding the retail promotional mix. So retail promotional mix consists of 6 elements. It consists of advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, direct marketing, public relations, and publicity. All right. So it consists of 6 elements. So we happen to cover advertising, we covered sales promotion, we covered personal selling, direct marketing, public relations, and publicity. All right. So in the next class, when we meet, we shall start off with a new topic title, management and evaluation of relationships in retailing. So till then, have a nice time. So stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
You should write my